Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Just extremely busy my side from a work perspective.
Oh yeah, yeah, understandable. Did you have a chance to play so far?
I've played little. I've not had a huge amount of playing the game, unfortunately. Work commitments have extended a bit further, in terms of over hours, and so I played a little for, but not as much as I've wanted to.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, and what have you been working on so far then?
In terms of the game, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, not a huge amount of stuff. Like I say, I've just been busy mainly with work. So been a little focus on that. I have tried to play four a couple of times, and I'm starting to really enjoy him, and getting used to the character a little bit more.
Nice.
But in terms of like putting things together, I played a bit of Doctor Strange here and there as well. But like I say, not a huge amount of time has been spent on the game since our last session.
Yeah, that makes sense. Might be good to then maybe lean towards live session, but we'll see. We'll see. I think well again depends on what we wanna do today. So first of all, I just wanna see because we talked about the Doctor Strange before. How's the
Hmm.
improvement so far? I was reading the notes. Yeah, so we can go with those real quick, and if maybe there's anything else to add, then you can do that. But yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah.
so far, what you mentioned, you've been applying covered concepts, trying to utilize nonlinear rotation, corner usage, cover, not on the open. You also additionally trying to drop in and go from to main for eliminations. Yeah, so how that's been, by the way, did you just kind of stay on top, farm dark magic when you have the advantage, you just kind of drop like we mentioned, or what have you been doing so far?
Yes. No, basically what you just said there. That's what I've been doing. So try and stay on top where possible, unless the building gets destroyed, and then dropping down with the dark magic. If I can kill them, obviously I'll continue to do a couple more hits, and then I'll return back to the spot. Or if there's any other place around there, I've been going to different spots to just keep it a little bit more well where am I? Making it a bit harder for the opponent to like work out. So I have started to do that a little bit more, um, which is good. In terms of when I'm getting rushed and putting myself in the corner, I have started to do that. Still, it's more the psychological perspective where I've just got to try and get it into my head, not to keep retreating too much. Uh, but I know that's just going to come over time. That's like with knowledge acquisition, you've just then need to do knowledge application and apply it. So that will
Yeah,
take time.
exactly, exactly. Then I will just kind of gonna copy the notes, maybe, but just highlight this. Yeah, non-linear rotation a little bit more. Yeah, so you're not just falling back, but kind of we talked about moving left or right, and
Hmm.
you can also obviously see are we continuously just repeating the cycle. Are we using the position? So I can maybe highlight that a little bit more because I understand maybe you haven't had a chance to play a lot. That's okay. You can just look to play more in practice later. That's all right. Mm,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously we can see how the progress is, but yeah, I think with the play time matters a lot too. So that's important. Okay, what else you mentioned is well, positives, wider coverage of attack, greater defense, less deaths. Nice, that's good to hear. Use of different angles. Area to work on. Mentioned that not pushing too far to enemies outside of reach of supports. Yeah, understandable. This one we could work on. Well, it's just the general ideas on any tank, pretty much. It's just either two ideas, I think, two main concepts. It's either timing or tempo. I see we suggested to work on the tempo. Tempo is a little bit more complicated. Timing is easier. So we might just
Hmm.
start with the timing. Just what do you do? It's mostly getting information, making sure that you just act depending on where most of your team is, stuff like that. Yeah. So this is the struggle. Okay, timing of dropping using black magic and ultimates. What was that about? So timing of dropping. So is it been challenging so far, or?
I'm trying to think back. In regards to that one, timing of dropping using black magic and ultimates. What happened on that one? I think if I remember correctly, when even though I was high up and then I was using my ultimate, I think I was just getting either DC'd or I was getting blocked, shielded at the time. So I think that's what I was trying to put in that.
I see. I see. Well, it's just mainly then the cooldown awareness, it feels. Yeah, you just need to kind of make sure your ability either will not disrupt it or will not be blocked. Stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, we also mentioned returning to high ground once finished trying to achieve the kill. Oh wait, it was sorry, that was not the one. That was for Thor. Yeah, you mentioned that area to work on rushed opening portal near the end, which should have been performed the cover and then used for scouting a few more seconds. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so it's just in that game. I see you mentioned a few notes there. Yeah, those might be useful too. Okay. And there's also some areas to work on Thor. Okay. Well, it seems just with at least with Doctor Strange, yeah, it's just the pattern, and that's what you mentioned there. Just returning to angles, returning to high ground. Yeah. So
Yeah.
probably we can just highlight that. We can work on that. For today, well, so we have enough time and everything. What we could do, we could possibly, if you also play Thor, maybe let's do quick review on Thor and then do a game and then
Mhm.
kind of analyze it. Do you think it's a good idea for today, or?
Yeah, no, I think that'll be better. I think if we can focus on four more specifically than Doctor Strange, because I think with Doctor Strange, you've gave me quite a lot of tips that I am applying. So I'm happy from his perspective. It's more now that's focus on four. See what we can do around that. I did have a question though, because like
Uh-huh.
Fall's abilities, there was one that is really useful for me in terms of like progressing and pushing people and also killing, but sometimes you get into that predicament where you can't actually get out of it. I'm not sure if you can. Awakening
Yeah, when you use
rune.
awaken form. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Is there a way to like stop that animation
No,
after, say for
unfortunately, no.
instance? No. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Right.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been playing Thor myself quite a lot too. Yeah, unfortunately, no. But you can always time it right. That is, I think, might be the essentials. Probably start.
Hmm.
I'm thinking. Well, we got so there are a few topics. Well, the general one is the timing. Another one is the Thor specific stuff. Well, yeah, let's do kind of Thor specific. We'll see. If we have time to also go over something else, then we'll do that.
Okay.
So for Thor, let me see. What do you know? It's been so far. Attacking have made good progress, using high ground cover, flanking, nice. Okay, positive flanking behind, going for a kill. Yeah, so we've been implementing that quite a lot. There have been some problems with... got a little bit bored and distracted at one point, so you made it still a play. That's okay. That's okay. Well, as long... Maybe as... If you notice you're getting bored, you can also... If you have multiple goals in mind, you can just break down the goals and swap between the goals during the match. It's just maybe have one goal for one round and then have another goal for one round. It's kind of common thing.
Yeah.
Whenever players
I,
autopilot, it's just there is a tendency they practice on one concept either too much or they practice too many ideas at a time. So
mm. I think at one point the reason why I got bored was just because I was waiting for the enemies, to like
to do
appear,
something.
and they didn't do anything for a while. I think it was like it felt like it was 10 or 20 seconds, but I was also getting pinged uh, from a weight perspective as well. So I was just like, oh right, okay, I'm just gonna get rid of my frustration uh, slightly going forwards.
Yeah, understandable. Well, so besides that awaken rune, you mentioned kind of been maybe I assume you struggled with that. Yeah, you just wanted the right time to use that. Is there anything else would have been struggling with at the moment?
Um, in terms of the concepts of Thorn, I don't think so as such yet, but it would be good to get your view. As you see me progress live, or if we're looking at some of these aspects. Um, I think because it's a character that I'm starting to get used to. I'm not as aware of myself as much with this character, so I'm not sure if I'm doing something that's good or overreaching.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, probably just want to keep. Yeah, let's keep it structured on focus on 1-2 ideas mainly. I think starting with fundamentals, either more positional or timing might be good. We can start with a replay, and after that we can do a game. Of course, that's all good. Okay.
Okay.
And what kind of replay we want to go over? So that one, I see there are a couple. Do you want to start with one of those,
Yeah.
or you got any
Yeah,
other?
I think one of them will be best. I think because I've put a bit more mixed stuff, I think the last one of four will be best.
Yeah, the last one on Thor. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that. What's in your notes in addition? So you mentioned you used ult to kill 2 of the opponents, escaped from the point, deep dive and get a kill to stop them being able to get as much healing. Okay, that in the process. Yeah, so also some of the notes again, just not a steady overpush. Well, let's focus on timing then, probably. It's fine, I think. Let's see the gameplay though. Okay,
Mhm.
we got this here. Okay, 7 minutes. And this is you. Perfect. Can you see the stream just fine? Is it working for you?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that.
Nice,
Pick your
nice.
hero or villain. I'm not judging.
Okay, let's take a look. So, quick thing about Thor is you got a lot of mobility, you got a lot of burst as well, so you need to quickly engage, get in, use your
Mhm.
abilities, get out a lot of times. You just surround the awaken, but there are times when we can also you just not able to use that. So let's watch. That is something what we might discuss more. So it's good using to rotate. The dash to rotate, you can actually use it a little bit more. Potentially set up better angle, but it's alright. I just watch how is the engagement so far. I really like the angle approach though. You go in the back, that is good.
Mhm.
Just make sure you get it there faster if possible. You can also charge your dash a little bit more, so you get a little bit of distance.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
this is when we...
if you hold the ability, it goes further, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the start of the pressure, and you're actually gonna get a kill. Nice. Okay. Might be one of the hardest targets sometimes, the Orchid Raccoon, because they can easily escape, but still it worked out for us. The angle worked out really well. I think most of it's been about that. It just because you're on the angle, because you're on the flank, works quite well. Okay. Right. So this fight went relatively well. What about the next one? Just watch one more and then we can talk about a few things,
Mhm.
probably.
I was hoping at this point they would see me and then like come after me, which Magic did there,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
then disappeared.
Yeah, so they kind of go after you, you use your ability, yeah, try to just punish them with a Awaken,
I
right?
pushed Hera outside, and
Yeah.
then Magic came.
Oh, she
And then
also
she,
jumped off
yeah.
the map as well. Oh, okay, and you got a kill too, nice. That's free ult charge for us. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, what about the third fight? So 2 fights in a row, you guys pretty much winning. Well, there's a lot of good stuff with the angle. Okay,
And
but
then this is where I started to get bored because I was waiting, like, okay, whereabouts are they?
yeah, so they eventually went main doorway there.
Yeah, and
Okay.
after I did it, I knew I shouldn't have done that because I was like, okay, I've not seen any of them, so they all potentially all group there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's quite a lot of pressure. Okay, so I'm thinking how to put it. Generally speaking, the fundamental idea, and that is something what you can apply on any character, is just simply to make sure you synchronize the pressure with your team, just whenever it's possible. So if I'm watching this, for example, what's might be good about that is if you see your team engaging, they actually do something there, and then you do your own stuff, then this is nice a lot of times because we can divert the attention, we can split the enemy resources while the rest of your team is pushing, or let's say you getting pushed, then well, it's either your team takes space or maybe your team's getting pushed, then you can do quite a lot as well. So this is nice. What I want you to be aware of is just simply with the timing, you just need to make sure you scout continuously. You need to be actively looking around before each engagement. Maybe that is something we mentioned before as well, but it's just if you ever struggle with the timing, you're just gonna always ask, okay, so this is where your thought process starts. Let me see, so once we go back, so basically even once you're behind the corner, whenever you scout, it's all about the downtime. And there are a lot of points of downtime, but the most general point for you is to make sure you scout when you're behind some sort of cover, when we just kind of before that engagement. Yeah, usually cover is a good starting point. Right now, it's important for you to scout, look around. Yeah, so the question is, are you doing this decision based on the information as well? Yeah, based on if your team is going, or is it just nice consequence? It's just being consistent with all of this. And you can see later, this is actually the exact mistake we made. This push, when you're gonna go after those guys, your team is just not gonna be able to easily follow up on, so it's gonna be tough. So say, okay, I'm going in, and where the rest of your team? Yeah, what they're doing well, they're sort of here, but can they actively maybe do something with this angle? Because those guys, some of them, they also can be behind the wall. That's what might be concerning. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they can follow up on the Moon Knight, right? But it just might be tough, I think. So what do you think could be
Yeah.
better decision here? To just make sure the timing is on point, potentially. What could we be doing? So your plays probably start somewhere around here. This is
Yeah.
when we scout, this is when we look around, and then you make a decision. Okay, my team is over there, so what is good play right now?
So realistically speaking, what I should have done was just to wait. Still, I think personally, because I've got a good angle here. If someone was going to come past me,
Mhm.
I can hit into them and potentially push them against a wall so they can't retreat. And additionally, if I can see obviously my Doctor Strange, and I can see and hear if anything happens. I would know if to push along them.
Mhm.
Um, so I personally probably either stay where I am now or go a little bit closer to the other wall, but I think that will put me a bit more in open. So I probably would say stay here. I think that's what I would personally do if I didn't get
Yeah,
blocked.
possibly. See, a lot of times the idea, I think, as Thor, is not even about the space where you're fighting. Sometimes it's always nice
Mm,
that your team can follow up on the stuff, but it just also could be possible if those guys are actively engaging here, and then you catch somebody over here, or maybe it can be other way around. Your team is holding the right side, I can catch somebody over there. But this is fundamental thing on any tank. You just make sure the rest of your team is doing stuff, and you can be confident that they can engage. I just would say scouting for your tank, like second tank, is one of the most fundamental thing. You can also look at if your tank is dead, then you can look at the rest of your team where they are. So if your most of your team is in the fight, they're doing something, usually it's a good time. Of course, there's some exceptions if you have an advantage, a disadvantage, but yeah, we're just starting with the general rules. Yeah, and see here, yeah,
mhm,
probably if you hold that space, you would have a better opportunity for you to just go after one of these guys over there on the right side.
mm.
That's what I think. So you will not force that engagement. See, when Magneto does something, those guys walk. Okay, wait. Maybe this guy, or maybe that window walked in. Then you start applying pressure. That's okay. You sometimes, I think it's fine, totally fine to be one dash away as Thor, because whenever you use the dash, you can always use your hammer and then get your ability back, get your awaken back right away. So even though I'm there and nobody walks here, they just walks to the window, could also be fine. You can just walk a little, charge your hammer, and then go in, stuff like that. Yeah, there's always nice to time the pressure with the rest of our team. Yet maybe I'm just gonna open up the video to show the examples as well. I think this one I used for was masterclass, and I think was used in the video. I actually released the video on my channel. Don't know if you've seen that, but you can watch that later.
I've seen a couple of things, but I haven't seen your latest one that you've done recently. I did see on YouTube that you also did a full video.
Yeah, you're talking. So you're talking about there was the soul one. Yeah, I can send it. Yeah, I can send it to you for reference as well. That's quite nice. I think most of the examples I use for in that video is gonna be exactly like from here. It's just from some of the gameplay. I think it was around a GM2, GM1 lobby, and yeah, we can just use that pretty much. Okay, so a lot of times you'll notice me actually whenever I'm trying to fight, and this is always with the other players as well. I don't think I'm the boss again. I'm not playing as much, and to just be able to get at the top of the ladder, you need a lot of playtime. It's one thing to have big knowledge, and it's another thing to have be a high rank player. To be a high rank player, we just need to constantly apply stuff, get in the habit. So say there's a lot of scouting before the fight. See my decisions, peripheral vision. I'm looking at what's happening over there. And if I know my team is not around, then it's usually not the best time for you to just go in the active fight. You can maybe see sometimes that players like do just some sort of poking with the ability. This is what I decided to do. I'm thinking, well, maybe I could do that because my team's still really far. But then they decided to engage, so I'll follow up because I see most of my team is able to be active, especially my second tank. They're in the Venom, they've been in, and we can try to go in again. I think because you're that character, you actually don't have to force a lot of attention towards you first. You can let your main tanks just whoever is good at absorbing pressure, just let them in first. And we see here, Doctor Strange can act like a tank because they're really good at, main tank, because they're really good at absorbing initial pressure. So usually just let them in, and then later we can try to follow up on whatever is happening in the fight.
Okay.
So see, and this is what allows me to get a lot of value. I'm distracting the enemy team. Maybe again, not that they deal engagement mechanically, and just I think the corners could be using a little bit better. But still, my team just pushes through, allows me to get a lot of space. And this is just all the time the most essential thing for use timing. If you're not doing that, then you're gonna be hardly focused, and it's really easy to die. You don't have a lot of sustain, I think, on Thor compared to any other characters like Doctor Strange or Magneto. So always time the pressure. I think sometimes you might see, well, if I mistimed the engagement, somebody mistimes, you just might instantly die a lot of times. Okay, yeah. Any questions about that, or is it clear?
No, that's clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep watching. So kind of. Yeah, so I'm gonna skip this. Yeah, this is us. Let's watch your next fight.
I'm hurt. Us against the world.
Okay, so this one might be interesting. So your intention is, let's go on Rocket Raccoon, right? So this is what we're looking for. Yeah, what's your thoughts? Just based on what we discussed, what do you think?
What I should do. So, it's a tough one because, like, obviously, I can support the team there, but obviously, the problem that they've got there is that also you can't do any damage or kills to anyone because they've currently done a support. So, my thought process was to go for Rocket Raccoon, so that way I get rid of one of the support characters that could heal one of the teams that's in there.
Yeah.
And
So generally speaking, to put
yeah.
it kind of through the lens of our previous concept, generally speaking, the timing wise, how it looks like for us, is it good or bad? So your team, are they active, most of them?
Well, they won't be active doing anything on what I'm going to do. so it's probably
Well,
best.
but do you need that? This is what I mentioned before. Do we need the activity for them
No,
to be in the same space? Yeah, it is what I want you
I
to
don't
understand.
think so for Rocket Raccoon though,
Yeah,
because it's just on he's just on his own.
exactly. And this is what I want you to understand. The multiple layers. So the first layer is most of my team is active no matter what. Yes, and you can
Hmm.
decide what do you do. You either pressure in the same space with your team, so it's just I'm attacking this here, or you can also go do your own stuff because you're really mobile. You can do that, but it just there's some triggers for you to understand when you look into go after the backline just like that. When you go on those targets whenever, yeah, this is how we call it. You either pressure with your team or you go into targets whenever. Because the thing is, to be able to apply pressure, we need to have short sideline. That's it. We just need to have anybody we're close to. You're on the flank, you have a short sideline, and the only question you get asked is, what's closer, to pressure with my team or pressure there? Yeah, where do I have more advantage? Because now it seems like might be a little bit tough. There's a Cloak and Dagger ultimate, while at the same time it's yours. There's not too many killable targets to me if they all stay in that ultimate over there. They're Cloak and Dagger, and there's also Invisible Woman actually. So I think it's gonna be
Yeah.
really, really tough. And Rocket Raccoon, yes, they're also gonna be using their ultimate too. But see, it's just simple kind of exception. You go after target whenever it's killable pretty much, and well, we'll just say it's isolated. Okay, you go after isolated target, and another trigger for you is to just make sure that the target has low mobility. That's about it. So again, are we going towards either fighting for what our team is doing, or we going after target which is isolated? And all of that, it depends on your setup. First of all, just see what you
Yeah.
have the good angle towards. Yeah, and we're gonna be good. Okay, now the question to you though, what is more killable at this point? So those guys, well, you could maybe technically isolate one of those with your hammer, the dash as well.
Yeah.
You could maybe try to just let somebody push in. Yeah, sure, but what do you think is more killable currently for you? Sorry.
It would have been Moon Knight.
Why?
Because he's right in front of me. So I could have pushed him with my hammer,
Yeah.
and then potentially used my what's it called, Rune Awakening,
Yeah, exactly.
and then I would have also been lined up to potentially hit Rocket Raccoon if no one else joined us. Otherwise, could dash out.
Yeah. And see, the thing is, why it's easy to kill that target is because they have less mobility compared to Rocket
Mhm.
Raccoon. So more stationary targets are usually the
Ah,
better for you
yes.
to go for as well. So
Mm.
it's just stay closer. I think this is good enough reason already. But even this is close. I think if you would choose between one of those, it's probably would be this guy still. Even though they're getting healed, it's just you have insane amount of burst. And I think you can easily kill anybody in 1v1 if you land the ability. So yeah, it's just do the rivals together. But see, now we don't have a really short angle on this, and there's also gonna be, I think, harder to kill. So yeah, might be not the best decision. I think just dash this guy. We can maybe trap him in the corner, like push him
Mhm.
towards this way to isolate him. It's gonna be fine. Isolate the targets, go whenever. That's it. Or fight with your team.
I think one of the things that always goes through my mind is if obviously I go for healer, they can't heal anyone else, so it helps the team a bit more. But in that case, if I pushed Moon Knight into the corner, would he be getting healed by Rocket
Yeah,
Raccoon?
exactly. That's why I'm saying you need to find ways. Obviously, there's a lot of things for
Yeah.
you to how you can isolate. A lot of it is mechanical, but yeah, ideally, if you isolate, it should be good. But even though they kind of can see the Moon Knight for a brief period of time, I think you're really good at just killing targets really fast. It's
Mm.
always in my games and just in general, if there are two people, I think it should be okay for you to get a kill on that. If there are multiple, obviously it's harder, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is how you can think about using your awaken as well. Just you're finding, first of all, time the pressure with your team. Second, go after isolate it a little bit more. Some simple solutions. Of course, there are some more specifics as well, but yeah, I just want to make sure it's simple enough for now.
Mhm. No, that's good.
And there's also a small thing. Time before the fight, you can also use the Awaken just farm ult charge. Not the most important at the time, but still, that is something you can think about if you don't have ultimate. Now you do
Yeah.
have ultimate, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's yeah. So that was my thought process. I was like, I've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
ultimate, so I want to get up the high quickly before,
yeah, yeah.
and then I'm gonna get ready to use it once they
This is good.
come on point.
I really like the positioning, the proactivity, the angles, and it seems you've been working on that really well. Okay, so we got the flank angle, and now this is kind of, it feels like questioning. What do I do? Right.
Yeah,
So
so I was trying to wait to hopefully get more people on the point before I use my ult.
right. But at the same time, if we're looking at this, because the fundamentals of timing will stay the same right now.
Mhm.
What do you see? Most of your team, are they being active right now, or
Yeah, I believe so. Because look, you've got two healers near the back, and you've got two on
yeah,
point. I don't know where one of them is. Looking at that,
yeah? Yeah,
but
well,
if
there's
it's Wolverine, there could be flanking.
mostly they are on this way, yeah. So it's just like
Yeah,
yeah. So this here, this everybody pretty much they're over here, okay, on
oh,
this
right.
kind of same line, but because of it, then you gotta make a decision. Because the fight starts, you have to do something. So yes, we can wait for the good opportunity a little bit more, but usually there's always the best opportunity when the timing, when most of your team is ready. So my question to you, well, maybe
Mm.
there's not good chance for you to use the ultimate. Sure, maybe you want to ult the backline. I get that. There's another layer, right? But because there is already important time for you to engage, what could you be doing? Maybe if you don't
Uh,
want to use the ultimate, what else you could be doing?
so I could be using my F ability here, couldn't I? I could be using my awakening power.
Yes, yes. Simply use your
Um,
awaken. Yeah, I think you can do that. You can also try to just, if you know you want to get a kill potential, but there's nobody else to kill, you can try to just boop the enemy in, try to isolate somebody, like we said. Yeah, we can try this out, and usually there's a lot of it. The awaken is important to engage around. But if you know, there's just sometimes no isolated targets if there are just multiple people uh, to push, then we can just use our regular abilities to try to isolate. But yeah,
yeah, I think I should have done that because, like I put in the notes, I don't think this was like mixed feelings. Like I got two kills eventually with the ultimate, but then
yeah, the timing is already off. Most of your team is dead. Yeah,
yeah.
so that's why. Ultimate is great in terms of like that layer, the backline, but this layer matters less compared to synchronizing the pressure with the rest of our team.
Yeah.
That's why it's just additional layers, one decision on top of each other, and fundamentals matters more. That's why I always emphasize those first.
Mhm.
Right. Okay, does all of it make sense, or any questions?
No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, because that it was my thought process as well. That I don't think I did that well in that area. That's why I was like mixed feelings about. It was like, yeah, I got two kills,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
that weakened them, but my whole team was dead. So it's like, yeah.
That's understandable, yeah.